A convicted terrorist who planned to blow up a military base has been released from jail, or is set to be released from jail. He was sentenced to 16 years in prison in 2013. Now, that was just 8 years ago. So, of course, you can guess what's happening now, can't you, ladies and gentlemen? Yes, that's right. He's about to be back on the streets. The parole board, which appears to take the chocolate fireguard approach to public safety, has said he's no longer a threat and can be allowed to roam the streets once more. The parole board is playing roulette with the lives of British citizens and simultaneously desecrating the memory of the war heroes that we sent over to fight terrorists all over the world. Zahid Iqbal planned to send a remote-controlled toy car packed full of explosives under the gates of a territorial army base in Luton. They tested that device and concluded that it would have worked, i.e., if we'd not caught him, then he would have blown up a military base. Actual British soldiers may well have died. Now, we can take a look at Mr Iqbal online. You can see his picture. It might be worth noting that because he could be moving in next door to you. He's kind of a lovely chap, at least that's how he appears anyway. It looks like one eye is reading the menu and the other one's checking the bill. But you might as well take a good look at him. I know that after this we'll be bringing his picture up. You might bump into him at Sainsbury's, for example. His kids might go to school near your kids. He could, for example, be chatting to you at the school gates. Hey, you never know. If you're lucky, you might even sit next to him on the train. But there's a bigger issue at play here, isn't there? He's one of around 500 convicted terrorists who've been released in the UK in the last decade. MI5 and the police are apparently monitoring at least 20 jihadi extremists on a daily basis in a bid to keep our streets safe. Now, I find this absolutely bonkers, to be perfectly honest with you. I cannot understand why on earth we allow these people to get away with it. It does seem a little bit insane, and I do think that maybe we need to be having a look at who is actually on the parole board. It does make me wonder, frankly, why this can happen. We have a cancel culture in this country, a never-ending cancel culture, don't we? Where we want to tear down the statues of people like Admiral Lord Nelson, where we want to cancel a teacher or a lecturer for saying that women are women. We also, for example, don't we, want to ban anyone who's a comedian who dares to make a joke. Well, why don't we cancel jihadis instead? And I think this is a valid question. Why can't we just cancel them? It's not as if they share our values, is it? What were, for example, Usman Khan's views on trans rights, on gay rights, on women's rights? I really cannot understand why we can't just lock this lot up and throw away the key. Therefore, there's no chance of reoffending, because we will never know, will we, if this lot have been de-radicalised. And there's been loads of cases in this country where we've let people out and they've gone on to commit some pretty fruity things, like Usman Khan, of course. He was one of those people who we deemed to be a de-radicalisation success story. What happened next? Well, he ended up stabbing 2 people to death, the very 2 people who've been tasked with helping to de-radicalise him. I think we're a soft touch in this country, and I think it needs to end now.